Well, welcome everybody to another Married to Real Estate podcast. How are you doing there, Joe?
I'm doing great, Ms. Sabas. How are you?
Very good, thanks. So today we wanted to discuss a common misconception out there, especially with first-time home buyers when they are getting ready to purchase a home. A lot of times they are faced with the overwhelming knowledge that they feel they have to put down 20% in order to purchase. And with house prices, the median house price has increased so much over the last 24, 36 months. We're here to dispel that myth and talk about different options other than that 20% chunk down.
Yes, ma'am. And I'd like to talk about it from the lender perspective and how they handle that.
Right.
So that way it's, as a consumer, you understand what you're going against or coming up against with the lender.
Right.
And the way they're viewing it, right?
Right.
So the way a lender looks at it is, a 20% down is their optimal number.
Right.
They would love every client to have, if you're buying a $500,000 house, to have $100,000 to put down. You got an 800 credit score and you make $1 million, right? So you're a perfect client for them. However, we don't live in a perfect world, and that's not going to happen, especially with first-time home buyers.
Right.
So from a lender perspective, it's all about risk management. So if you're that perfect client and you're putting that $100,000 down, and for some reason you do lose your job or something were to happen and the bank needed to take the property back and sell the property, they have that $100,000 that you put down in equity, which would help them reselling the home, right, with the bank. So there's not a lot of risk when you're putting 20% down to the bank, right?
Right. I thought part of that too is that you're less likely to walk away with all of that equity put down.
Correct. It's a very low risk situation for the lender, right? Once that number is above 80%, then they start calculating how much risk there is to them, and they actually come in with what's called PMI, or private mortgage insurance.
Right. The bean counters.
Right. So it's all, so at that point to them, it's all about risk mitigation, right? And, I want to mitigate how much risk I have in this deal. And the way they do that is mostly through, and we're just talking about conventional loans today. Next podcast, we're going to talk a little bit more about government loans, FHA.
Right. So this is your regular, standard, conventional
loan, right?
Right.
So, if you were to, say, put 10% down instead of 20% down, what the bank's going to do, the lender, they're going to get private mortgage insurance for that 10% difference from 80% to 90%. So they actually go out and get an insurance policy. And there are private mortgage insurance out there, and they get the insurance policy from that company. It costs X, but the bank doesn't pay it. Who pays it?
The consumer, the buyer.
The buyer pays it, right? So, but it is truly an insurance policy that if something at that point, then if something went wrong with the property and they had to foreclose on the property, well, the bank's only liable for that 80%. Then they have an insurance policy for that other 10%.
For the gap.
For the gap.
Okay.
Right. So when you're purchasing a home, and you can do it with as little as 3% down, 3.5% down, 5% down, 10% down, 15% down. However whatever you come in with, that's how the lender is going to calculate what your risk assessment is and how much insurance they need to get against that property and what your insurance payment's going to be.
Okay, and that PMI number, is it just set for every person, or are there different factors?
It's all about, as you said, the bean counters are in there. Everything goes into a computer. It's a formula. How much money do they make? What's their credit score?
Right.
How much risk are they as a consumer? What is it? I was thinking about it before coming in. Kind of look at it as like health insurance a little bit, right?
Sure.
So if I'm
perfect example,
28 years old, I'm perfectly healthy, and I'm a very low risk, how much is my insurance policy going to be?
Right.
Or if I'm 60, whatever, I've had a history of something.
Overweight, smoking.
Right, exactly. What's my insurance policy going to be?
So much higher.
Same formula, same calculation. It's insurance, right? And so, but that's how you get into a home without putting 20% down. You're going to have to cover the insurance for the lender to be able to allow you to do that. And it's really that simple.
Well, and is it also, does it price home buyers out? Or I'm playing devil's advocate here. So the price of that insurance policy, does that, is it so extensive that it can, price it out?
In most cases, no.
Okay.
I would say it is a factor that comes in, but however, in most cases, no. And your lender, our two good lenders, our great lenders out there, Jeff and Charlie, can talk anybody through this. And there are different options within mortgage insurance and ways to handle it, and they would provide all the options and the best pricing calculation for any of our clients.
Right, because at the end of the day, most of our clients are looking at what is that monthly payment? How can I get into a home so that I can be my own landlord and pay myself rent?
And one last thing with it, once you get the home, either it goes up in value enough or you pay it down enough and you can get it below that 80%, the insurance policy goes away.
Excellent point.
You stop paying for it. So there is an end game to it.
Very good. Well, that should help a lot of people. So remember, everybody, you do not need to put down 20%. There are definitely other options for you to get into that home. So.
Absolutely. And like I said, next month we're going to talk a little bit more about the government sponsored.
Excellent. And if you need to talk to any of our lenders, just go to sablehouseteam.com and click on the mortgage loan section, and you can talk to our excellent lenders, both Charlie Miller and Jeff Stempler. Thanks.
Have a great day.